Now, along with digital recording devices, during my travels, I write my impressions in a journal. I could use a digital tablet, or I could text myself. Someday I may do that after I fill all the pages of this historical recording device. Now, this video is the last entry of the playlist about a cruise to Bermuda during the 19th to the 26th of August aboard the Norwegian Pearl. While I talk and give my viewpoints of this cruise, there will be a video of the last days at sea from Bermuda to the night before we arrive in Boston. The video playing is the departure from Bermuda. We left the Royal Dockyard and sailed to the other end of Bermuda. Soon you'll see the St. George area. There will be no list of things I loved and hated, but rather this will be more along the line of comments and observations about the cruise and the way I prefer to cruise. Comment number 1. For stateroom selection for this cruise, we did our homework online. Plus, this was not our first time on the Pearl, and that helps us narrow our preferences. Okay, deck 11 midship is below the deck with the pool, and 11 aft is below the Garden Cafe buffet on the Pearl. Now, both of these places, the pool and the Garden Cafe on deck 12, are sources of varieties of noises all the time. The party noise of music and shouting from the pool, and from the buffet there will be rumbling vibrations of service carts and scraping of chair and table legs across the deck. Now, on the Pearl, the buffet is on the starboard side. On the port side, towards the aft, is a specialty restaurant on deck 11, La Cucina. It opens in the evening for dining, and there is no outside seating. When it is not offering evening meals, the restaurant is a designated quiet area. Traffic off the nearby elevators tends to move away from the restaurant and to the buffet. So we wanted a stateroom aft of the elevator lobby on deck 11, under or close to being under La Cucina. Now, unfortunately, the club balcony suites we considered cost more than standard balconies. However, on the plus side, the club balcony suites in most cases have more floor space and a little more balcony space. In warm climates, we prefer balconies. Our club balcony suite also had a shower with a door, not a curtain. There was no bathtub, but no bathtub is not an issue for us. In a previous video, we covered the bathroom and storage space. Now, for storage, for 2 people who pack the minimum and use the ship's laundry service, for us storage was sufficient. If you bring several cases loaded to the airline weight limit, you'll have to be creative with how you use the stateroom. Comment 2. As I have aged, there are ship features that no longer interest me. For many cruises over the past decade, I've not used the basketball court, the climbing wall, the water tube slides, and other amusement park features. I no longer jog. I no longer go to the gym. For exercise, I'll walk in the morning on a promenade, unless there are too many runners. And I walk up and down the stairways. Now, please watch other cruisers' videos for information about these features that I no longer use. Comment 3. I did not go to the casino on the Pearl because smoking is allowed. I'd prefer that either the smokers be isolated in their own closed compartment, or there be an enclosed and non-smoking compartment, especially for poker and blackjack tables. Comment 4. I have no preference for the physical size and maximum passenger capacity of a cruise ship. Ship size, capacity, and features influence but may not prevent our crew's selection. We can adjust to the situations knowing that one size does not fit all. And I'll add that I enjoy being overwhelmed by the endless number of restaurants, buffets, grills, pools, hot tubs, lounges, clubs, etc. found on larger ships. But the larger the ship, the more people who may be competing to be on the same places at the same times. Every ship, large and small, still has a bottleneck processing one passenger at a time through an ID and security checkpoint. When going ashore, most of the time there is waiting in a single file line. When needed, there are never enough control points to get off the ship. Small ships at full capacity are crowded too, but to me it feels that delays are not as long. Another thing is smaller ships can usually fit into places where larger ships cannot fit. What I'm thinking about is how many people can be on the dock at one time at either of the terminals in Roatan versus the port at Nassau. Nassau has pier accommodations right now for 8 ships. So what do you think or feel about the possibilities of 3,000 people on a pier versus maybe as many as 20,000? Here's a bizarre thought. Can you envision 15,000 pier runners at the end of the day in Nassau or Puerto Maya? Comment 5. During the restart of cruising, the low capacity spoiled me. There was no waiting in lines, always had a good seat in the theater, almost everybody arrived and was seated before the show started. There were no crowds in the elevators or in the elevator lobby. Specialty restaurants did not force us to wait at the bar for our reserved table to be available. Walk right in, sit right down, waiter, bar server, sommelier were discreetly nearby, waiting for us to settle in. Service was prompt without being rushed. And on the restart cruises, there were no nightly packs of boisterous children rudely migrating aimlessly. The ones that I encountered on those restart cruises were well behaved, although energetic and not in any way annoying. Plus, the few I met could engage in a conversation without every third word being like, as in, and then like they was like you know, like what I mean like. Okay, comment 6. As the number of people on ships continues to increase, there's a greater probability of encountering misbehaving children and adults. On this cruise, there were 2 occasions of misbehaved young people. One time there was a late night stomping foot race in the passageway with yelling of profanities. The other occasion was a group of preteens who punched each other when the adults turned away. Also, they removed merchandise from store shelves and dropped the items on the floor and made faces at their adult keepers. Other than that, there were no issues with young people on this cruise. Now, as for the adults. Some tried to consume the daily drink package limit during one afternoon, becoming louder with each drink and tending to stumble for no apparent reason. Although there was no physical contact or vocal engagement as I passed by, avoiding them required taking the scenic route, or asking them to make room for me to pass, and then waiting for them to blankly stare while sometimes processing the words of my request. Maybe a ship could have a special room for people who want to be drunk and stupid. Keep them there until medical releases them. Also, the more people on a ship, the more likely the self-service ice cream machine becomes a messy toy. Gravity and other forces will limit the volume and the height of a swirl on a cone. Also, the more people on a ship, the more likely I will again see that person who took all 10 hamburgers from the grill. On this cruise, I saw the return of groups pushing ahead to be the first at the elevator, and then blocking people from getting off the elevator. Comment 7. The Boston terminal disembarking people were excellent. Although loud and firm with instructions, they were polite and patient as I bumbled about. To all y'all, thank you. No one earned a bless your heart. Last comment. All things considered, this was a wonderful cruise. The negative moments will make for entertaining stories. There were many pleasant times aboard the Pearl and in Portland, and especially in Bermuda. A pleasant enough cruise so that we continue to look into adding to our life experiences by cruising again, maybe with NCL or maybe with other cruise lines. Okay, I'll stop the monologue here. Let's end with watching a morning of rain, sunrises, sunsets. Thank you for watching, subscribing, and liking this channel. Still a lot of dripping going on from the overheads. Don't think we'll get a sunrise. That's about half an hour, 45 minutes from now. Let's see how that works out. Okay, it's Thursday morning at sea. It's about 6:40, almost 6:45. The official posted time for sunrise is 6:45 a.m. We're just leaving the storm. We're swinging a little bit aft. It's darker out there than it is this way. It's a little lighter. We're still looking east. We are headed a little bit on the northwest direction. When I was just up at the navigation center, it said we were approximately 330 degrees. That's a little bit off of compass north. Approximately 10 minutes after 7. As we can see, the Deck 11 navigation says the storm is behind us. Now we're up here on Deck 12's pool deck. It's obviously still raining. However, it is quiet and there's a nice sound of the wind. Thank you for watching.